And we are live. We're live here broadcasting around the world. Paris, beautiful Paris Blockchain Week. Really, this event is just popping. It's popping. Nice setup that they have here at the museum, the Louvre Museum. I mean, I've done some things in some expensive places here, but I feel like the Louvre is one of those. Hello?
Okay, yeah, you're back.
Okay. So I have to keep this open.
What are you at? The Luge? The Lou?
The Louvre. We're at the Louvre Museum.
Okay.
So it is pretty cool. If you can give a credit to our Smart Money Culture TV, I'm going to do something right here.
Oh, yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
All right.
Wait, why did it drop? Now we can't hear you.
I said, give a credit to Smart Money Culture TV while I do this real quick.
To Fly Mackey, the man with the plan, our great friend with the Smart Money Culture.tv network. We're coming to you live in Texas and Louisiana to your TVs, and we're expanding. Yeah, he's doing a great job here running the network and looking to expand into Florida and California and into over 18 million homes. And we're looking to reach this broad network of influential people, and we're having a great time looking at the markets, keeping up to date. I tell you, my trading has been well above any other period of my trading performances, keeping everybody in the loop here every morning and listening a lot, not only to Bruce's advice, which is pretty good, but Matt's AI platform and Matt's 30, 40 years experience in the markets have really been, I can hear him in my head. This is a ABC down, ABC up. I hear him in my head as I'm looking at the markets. So it's pretty awesome to have this great experience, and we're looking to work with everybody. So reach out to us. Of course, we're on Twitter and we're on Facebook and all of the social media. Sir David Porter and Bruce is at Networks Manager.
That's right. That's Smart Money Culture TV. And we'll be looking at a lot of this stuff. So a bit of consolidation as we're looking here. I mean, not much. You have oil. I said, I'll go ahead and share my screen here. I said oil is consolidating, really just kind of up a little bit as it is, but not sharply. But here's looking at oil right here. Of course, oil we talk about consistently because this is such an important indicator into what your inflation is going to be. Obviously, if oil is more costly, then it's going to cost more to do things. And then as well, let me just give you here. I'm in the media room, or the media spot here, but you can see they have us right here on the floor. We're right here on the floor here, Paris Blockchain Week, where it's all happening. So yeah, that's you also as well. You have of course coin market cap. I can just go over here to looking at Bitcoin. Bitcoin, a little bit of a consolidation, but it's over 70%, over $70,000. Of course, this was a little bit less or a little bit more. It went up to 72, I believe, over 72 in the last 24 hours. That's why you see that bit of consolidation. And then that, of course, the rest of the markets are following that. Ethereum is still slightly up. BNB down a bit. So Bitcoin's down about 2%, BNB down about 3%. Solana down about 4%. Of course, now XRP looks poised for another nice push here at 60 cents. We pan out here to the, you can see this pop on the 1 month up here to 74 cents. Nice move. They come up there and reclaim that. So we're watching that very closely. A lot of whales have been buying. Matt talked a little bit about that. Solana's been having a bit of congestion issues. They have put out a Band-Aid or something that they think is going to make that okay. But you've seen a lot of the arbitrage that gets traded on the DEXs has stopped doing that as much. I think that basically they were in a position where they wanted to make sure that they got their normal transactions through, and so the arbitrage bots, they kind of put a slow on those things as we move forward. So a little bit of a contraction there. I don't really expect it to be too much more than that. I think that Solana has a lot of money, and they're going to continue that. Doggy coin, same thing, bit of consolidation here, back down to 19.5 cents. That is 5% lower though on the daily. It was here up above 20 cents. Really just astronomical figures for the dog. And it's still just crazy to me. It's crazy to me that the Dogecoin can be so high. That it can be so high. But fun. A really fun crypto as it is. And of course, you have Shiba Inu down here in the 12th spot, down slightly. The other largest by market cap meme coin, Doge is a meme coin, even though it has created this massive ecosystem. Shiba Inu is another one. Floki is another one. These ones, they're creating massive ecosystems. Internet computer, we talk often about. Again, here we are consolidating right around the $17 range. We'll talk more about this stuff with our main man, Matt Dixon. Yes, but yeah, moving around here, you have really a lot going on as well around the world. Biden has come out and said, look, you got to stop this war over in Israel. You have the Republicans who are saying, no, don't stop the war in Israel. Nobody's really caring about the U.S.'s own border or what else is going on there. I'll tell you what, guys, you come to a place like Paris, you go to a place like Italy where I just was, and it's easy to sit at your home in the U.S., sit at your home in Texas, watching TV on the Smart Money Culture Network, and think that it's bad over here. But I'll tell you what, guys, it's worse in the U.S. I know it's hard to believe, but it really is. It's worse in the U.S. And I'm here to sound the alarm because it is worse in the U.S. People say, oh, yeah, be careful, Bruce, over there. Be careful in Paris. Like, how many people got shot in Paris today? How many people got shot in New York City? Okay, all right, that's all I got to say. Or how many people got shot in Chicago compared to Lyon or Paris or London or any of that stuff? It just is on a different scale. We have been slow boiled in the U.S. We've been this slow boil for the last 50 years or even longer, 70 years, and we don't even know how bad it is. So, but beautiful, absolutely beautiful here, and an amazing event. I have some interesting interviews as well coming up. We may even just slide them on the back end of this one. I have with the Hathor Network coming up today. I have quite a few tomorrow. We have Sebastian Dupont, some of the other people with the BCP group, one of the main sponsors here, as well as Pacio. These ones are coming up. So that's going to be pretty interesting. I'll tell you one of the main things. You can't hear me.
I can hear you. Yeah, I figured it out how to remove the avatar. Wait, now I can't hear you. It was working. Yeah. There you go.
Now I'm back.
Yes.
3/4 is in the stream with audio only. Oh,
There
the
you go.
magical stuff. So, yeah, pretty funny. I have my two phones and my computer here, and we're doing our broadcast from Paris Blockchain Week. Emily and her team, who've handled our getting set up here, has been absolutely wonderful. And then as well, we have Lead Pro. Randy was calling me last night. He was like power calling me. What's going on here? I'm in bed sleeping. He's on his way over here. He sent me a picture of his ticket. So
Yeah.
Randy will be joining us shortly
Awesome.
as well. So that's pretty fun. But you know, the thing about I can tell you about this conference and a lot of the other conferences, you know, like this. This is supposed to be, they say, the second most important one in the world. I don't know really is or not, but all the big players are here, and the amount of money that's coming into this space is just astounding. I mean, it is absolutely, it's mind-boggling when you look at how much money is coming into blockchain and into crypto assets. I mean, for Bitcoin to be trading at $70,000, and for us to be calling that a consolidation is still something that is crazy for me.
Big money.
It's big money, big money, big money. And that's the
It's
consolidation rate.
it's in the top 20 markets of the world.
Surpassed gold, right? I think it
I believe
surpassed
so.
gold, and maybe it surpassed silver the other day too, which is absolutely crazy. I mean, when you think about it, though, it's so much more. It can be so much more useful because you can move it around so easily, and then there really is a finite amount of bitcoins. I mean, we have a deflationary. I've talked about it now a few times. We have a deflationary model now, especially with everybody building on Bitcoin. You have these Satoshis now. The Satoshi is the smallest unit of Bitcoin that's tied up and sometimes backing these different currencies. And actually, that is what's going to take us down into even a lesser, I think, of a Satoshi as we move forward, because you'll be able to put certain amount of other tokens on that Satoshi. So pretty interesting. We are building all that capabilities out on Global Boost. Global Boost is just like Bitcoin. It's just a fork of Bitcoin. Same thing. Can't be seized or frozen or anything like that. And we're actually proud to be a media partner here at Paris Blockchain Week. I was going to set up in front of our logo, but this actually seemed like a pretty good spot. So, but we are proud to be media partner here at Paris Blockchain Week and many other events. Many other events. So it's a lot of fun. We love doing it. We love doing this stuff. And of course, we love being on Smart Money Culture TV and streaming to you guys live around the world as well. Speaking of that, let me just check our lead in here. Our commercial. We should be coming off a commercial break. Yeah, just in a minute here, and we'll have on the great Matt Dixon. While I'm waiting for that, let me just I can just show you how impressive this gold run is. Gold and silver both got quite a bit. You can see here Dow futures kind of consolidating here, but gold. There we go. Look at that. 23.79, up about $400 since we really started reporting on this. Guys, make sure, don't miss this run. Get out of your fiat. We're not financial advisors and all that good stuff we're supposed to say. Get out of your fiat, though. Put some of it in gold and silver. Go to @costmetals.com. Use the referral link clubs. Sign up. It's free to sign up. Then you need to buy a membership in order to buy gold and silver and everything at cost. But you can do that. You can do it worldwide. Start to diversify. Okay. Start to diversify and use that. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and bring in the great Matt Dixon, Sir Matt the Great. How are you?
Hi, good to see you. Great to see you at Paris Blockchain. Hi, David. How's
Well,
everyone?
Hey,
yeah, it is a lot of fun out here in Paris. So beautiful. I found we had a bit of a this and that with my Airbnb, and that was kind of funny. So I stayed at a hotel down in Moulin Rouge for a couple of nights, and that was cool, because it kind of opened up another area to me that I probably maybe I wouldn't have gone over there, but Paris is just so cool.
Nice. Well, I'm just going to run through a few tokens. I know you've got a lot to share today because you're at the Paris Blockchain Show. So I'll just run through a few because it's been quite a big day. You can
I was not expecting technical difficulties from Matt. I just tell him you're frozen.
he opened right up to the Solana network there.
His favorite.
It's a mover.
Okay.
There you
Okay,
are.
good. Do that. So down the right-hand side, we're looking at all the percentages, the gains and losses for the day. And we can see that the only gains so far today amongst all of these tokens and assets are gold, which is up 0.84%, and oil, which is up 0.18%. And S&P 500, obviously it's not open quite yet, but pretty well flat. And DXY, the dollar index, is also pretty well flat. Everything else, all the tokens, are down quite substantially. So I didn't necessarily mean to open on Solana. In fact, I think we'll come back to Solana because the big story of the day, and I've got it here as chart of the day, is yet another all-time high for gold. So we're just coming off that all-time high right now, but basically a new all-time high for gold. This is amazing. And what it's telling us is that inflation is the big worry out there, and gold is the hedge against inflation. And so that's why gold keeps pumping to new all-time highs. And potentially, as we said yesterday, it's got possibly much higher to go. And if we flip over straight away to Bitcoin, whilst Bitcoin at the moment, well, it's within touching distance of all-time high. So in a way, it's like gold. A lot of the tokens out there are not all-time high. Bitcoin is virtually all-time high, and it's like gold. And maybe it's because it is digital gold. So like gold, Bitcoin has that limited supply. And when you look at stock to flow ratio, and by stock to flow, what we mean is the amount of the assets compared to the amount that's being created. So for example, gold is constantly being mined out of the earth. So that is basically the flow of new gold to the market. And then you've got the stock, which is the amount of gold that's already there. So the stock to flow ratio, basically Bitcoin has a very similar stock to flow ratio to gold because it's a very limited supply. And in fact, it will have a better stock to flow ratio than gold following this halving, which is now only just a few days away, that we'll get the Bitcoin halving. So that means that the supply of new Bitcoin to the market will halve. And as I say, the stock to flow ratio will be better than gold. So if you're looking for a place to hedge against inflation, then maybe Bitcoin is a very good hedge against inflation. And whilst it is still seen as kind of a dual asset, where it's still seen as that safe haven digital gold, it is also still seen as a risk asset, kind of more speculative asset, which has great potential still to make really big gains. When I think gold will continue to climb in this inflationary environment, gold will continue to climb at a fairly steady pace. But Bitcoin still has the potential, especially with the new ETF approved, for money to flood into the very limited supply, which, as I say, will be a better supply-demand ratio than gold, really. So Bitcoin has the potential to rise much more substantially. So it has the dual characteristics of being a risk asset with that massive potential to rise, but also a safe haven asset as a hedge against inflation and a store of value. So I think Bitcoin is different things to different people, or maybe it's all things to all people. I don't know. But it's telling us that Bitcoin really does appear to have a future, and especially as the ETFs, money is continually flowing into the ETFs. So we've not only had the retail adoption over many years, since 2009 when it was created, and now we have institutional adoption, and I think that will only continue to grow. And so, especially this year, it's got the benefit of the money creation, and we're in the election year in the US. So there's a lot of money still available swishing around the market, and they want it that way because they want the market to still be buoyant. And so Bitcoin should still be buoyant, has the potential to really push a lot higher based on the risk asset side of it, but also having a buoyant economy actually means there's a lot of money flowing around. It actually means the economy is kind of inflationary. And so that again, so both sides of that Bitcoin equation are looking positive. In fact, from whichever angle you look at, it's pretty positive for Bitcoin. So I do think that it's looking good. And even from a chart perspective, all this kind of sideways movement is very indicative of what's called corrective movement. So as we said many times before, impulsive movement is where you see strong, solid movement without much overlap in a particular direction. And corrective is choppy movement, not really going anywhere. So we can see really in this movement here, it can all be contained within a channel. So it's kind of just a consolidation, waiting to break to new all-time highs. Now, clearly, there is resistance at the previous all-time high, but if that's broken, Bitcoin could really spring, like a coil spring, could really bounce to the upside if we manage to break through that. So the typical price reaction would be that you break through the previous all-time high, you would then typically retest the previous all-time high, because what was resistance, overhead resistance, then becomes support, underlying support, and then price will be expected to bounce off it and possibly bounce quite aggressively higher. So Bitcoin is looking quite positive there. Looking across the assets, I suppose number 2 asset is Ethereum. And well, actually just jumping quite back, because I just noticed there on Ethereum. Here, the last candle that we see is actually, it's a doji candle right now on Bitcoin, kind of doji, where we have a shadow above, a shadow below, and the price is right in the middle of that candle. So whilst the candle is not finished, so we can't draw any firm conclusions, at the moment, it's a doji, which means the price is undecided. So it's very difficult to take a position based just on that candle formation. And also, we actually don't see anything in terms of divergence. There's no divergence between price and RSI here. So there's not many clear signals right now. So we're in a consolidation. And if we look to the eBay platform, again, we'll see it's in consolidation. There's no signal. The rating hasn't changed. So we're very clearly in the consolidation. We'll probably jump over to the watch list on eBay in a moment. But then just to jump over to Ethereum, the reason I was looking, this current candle we're on with Ethereum is currently looking, especially if price goes a little bit higher on this candle to close, it would be what's called a hammer candlestick. That would be indicative of upward movement coming in the near future. And once again, we're seeing a kind of consolidation sideways. It may not be over, we may still have lower to go, but what it is telling us is, as a consolidation, it means most likely we will have a push to new highs above this previous local high here. So it's looking quite constructive across the board so far with Bitcoin and with Ethereum. So we looked at gold, that is obviously all-time highs. Oil, again, it's another kind of, it's actually quite closely correlated with gold. The movements tend to be correlated. But there's some funny things going on with the economy right now. But oil is a driver of inflation typically, and oil is pushing consistently higher, you can see here. It's not sharply higher. We've not had a major eruption yet in the Middle East, and so gold is just kind of gradually building based on some kind of underlying worry that things could kick off in the Middle East, but also based on the economy is still looking relatively healthy in the US. So consumption is relatively high. So we discussed about stock to flow ratio. Similar thing with oil really, looking really at the supply demand characteristics. So what we're saying is, at the moment, there is reasonable supply with oil because there's no problems. The problems are being managed at the moment in the Middle East. So supply is not a problem, but demand is still solid. because the US economy is still on a relatively solid footing for the time being. So that's why we're seeing the oil price continually sort of edging higher. And I suspect we may well see it just continue in that vein. And it may jump substantially higher if we see trouble in the Middle East kick off. You know, if we see a wider war, perhaps with Lebanon or with Syria or with, you know, with these Iran proxies, then things could kick off. But for the time being, there's nothing. What you normally say as a trader is, the trend is your friend. And quite clearly, since you know, throughout the whole of this year, oil has been trending higher. So for the whole 3 months or so, 4 months now, really, of this year, oil has been trending higher. And there's no reason for that to change. So we'll look at Solana because that is one of the tokens in focus. As Bruce mentioned, there have been some congestion issues, and reportedly it's largely down to arbitrage. And in a way, that's a kind of a sign that Solana is a very efficient token in terms of transaction costs, because the reason arbitrage is made so easy is because the transaction costs are so low on Solana that you can easily find differences in price between different platforms, and you can trade between them for a guaranteed profit. That's arbitrage, basically. You can buy on one platform at a lower price, and at the very same time sell on another platform at a fractionally higher price. And those differentials across platforms allow for arbitrage transactions, which are effectively guaranteed profit. But you need to have very low transaction fees to make that possible. And Solana allows that. It has very, very low transaction fees. And also there is access to Solana through a DEX, through the Jupiter DEX. And you can access some various Solana tokens through the Jupiter DEX. And you can see they're both among the bigger fallers today. They're not massive, but Solana is down 2.82%. And Jupiter is down 4.96%. So they're among the bigger fallers. The bigger fallers that you will see are amongst those, as we say, those meme coins that are kind of on steroids. You know, you can see here Bonk and Doge and Book of Memes and SHIB. So these tokens are among the bigger fallers. So Book of Memes is down almost 8%, 7.99% right now. So that's the risky part of the market, and I've actually just kind of rearranged my token list here. So I've got the meme coins at the bottom, which are the high-risk tokens. You can see they've got the biggest movements today, the biggest downward movements, because it's a down day in general. Then I've got the assets, just the general assets like gold, like oil, S&P 500, DXY, the dollar index. And then above that, I've got the more well-known and solid cryptos. So we've looked at Solana, and that's having a little bit of a down day. Potentially we could have even a bit more, but overall it's looking like a corrective move. The fixes for Solana, I'm told, are penciled in for the 15th, so we're only again a few days away from having some reasonable patches or fixes to these congestion issues. But then there's some major upgrades coming through in the not too distant future. So I do think Solana, that's why it's holding up so well, because they implement these fixes quite quickly. There's so much good stuff coming through. They've got the fire damper upgrade, which is going to really massively improve the workings of Solana in terms of transaction costs, transaction speeds, validation, making validation more democratized. So Solana is looking really positive. XRP, there's been quite a bit in the news. It's still in the news with the fight with the SEC. There are some rumblings that may be coming to a head fairly soon, and I think that's one of the reasons we're seeing XRP beginning to rise, and we may see a substantial break. XRP tends to hang on. When it breaks really aggressively. So, we've got a really nice candle. If I just open that out, we've got a very nice hammer candle in forming just at the moment with XRP. So potentially that could have been just a little correction down overnight with XRP. We could push again with some more substantial upside, especially if we get some positive news with SEC dealings. So the SEC seems to have it in for XRP, but I think XRP will probably come out on top, and we could see some really good movement there. Litecoin, again, is one of those tokens which has been moving quite aggressively. I think Solana tends to move more. It seems to be more volatile than Litecoin, but Litecoin has been really good lately. So we had a move up to 112. You can see the move down has been really, really choppy with Litecoin. So there's real potential, because this is choppy kind of sideways movement. There is real potential for Litecoin to break quite aggressively to the upside. And I've got lots of upside targets for Litecoin. Immediate targets overhead. We've got 120 as the first kind of target. So I think that we could soon, and I don't know exactly when, but relatively soon, see a break to the upside on Litecoin. So it's one of those which I think has some real potential. But the major potentials are probably among AI tokens still. And there's a number of AI tokens that I follow. And also Internet Computer is another one, good one. It's down quite a bit today, 4%. But once again, you can see we've got the aggressive, impulsive move to the upside and the very choppy, overlapping move to the downside. And don't know quite when it'll be over, because corrections tend to be a little bit unpredictable in terms of when the actual term will be. It could have been from here, looked like it started, but then it came back again. So it's hard to predict precisely when it's going to break, but the likelihood is, as this is a corrective move, we are likely to see more movement to the upside to take us above this previous local high of basically $20, $21 almost. So the outlook is pretty good for ICP. And I'll just jump onto, this is the watch list. I wanted to look at Solana. This is using the eBay platform. I could go back briefly and just show you how to do it. But basically, I was looking at the watch list. I'll go back to it, in fact, and just show you how I came to this, just to show you how to use it. So looking at the overall platform, we can see there Bitcoin actually got a recent downgrade from AAA to AA. So we could drill into that and look what that was based on, but I won't focus on Bitcoin today because we're always looking at Bitcoin. What I will do is just look at the watch list and see what tokens we have there. So on the watch list, these are ones to watch out for, that there's been some change in the underlying metrics. And we look at things like, I say we, this is the artificial intelligence, looks at things like the token security, about slippage, about liquidity. These are things that actually affect the function and tradability of a token. So we'll look into Solana. We'll just click on Solana and we'll do an in-depth analysis, open the dashboard, and just see what has changed on Solana to cause the recent inclusion into the watch list. So we can see on the chart, again, it looks to be corrective. The overall trend is higher. We're getting a choppy sideways movement. And we expect from that at some point to break to new highs above this previous high of $210 there. Then if you look at Solana price information, we can see 24-hour volume actually picked up 12%, which is pretty good. So overall, things are looking reasonably positive. And on the future side, it's actually labeled there as a long. I think that overall, the outlook is positive. We've still got really good volume. It's a massive volume token. And the chart itself is looking constructive. And it is a AAA rated token. That means it's basically the highest rating you can get. If you think of any credit rating agency, this is a financial rating agency looking at the parameters I mentioned, like security and so on. Solana is still ranked as AAA. Now that, you may think is surprising when you take into account that it's undergoing some congestion problems at the moment, but those congestion problems don't seem to be affecting the liquidity. As we saw, trading volume is higher. It's actually increased quite substantially in the last 24 hours. So these congestion issues are perhaps being dealt with. As Bruce mentioned, they seem to be related to arbitrage transactions and not really about the main transaction happening with Solana-based tokens, with projects that work on the Solana blockchain. So overall, the outlook for Solana seems to be positive, and that's backed up very much by what eBay ratings are showing us. And I think that's about it today for a quick wrap. Obviously, we can look into any number of tokens, but overall, it's a bit of a down day, but saying it's a down day, it just appears to be corrective. So it's not something to worry about. I think we're going to be going higher fairly soon in coming days.
Yeah, well, great report. It's pretty interesting. Of course, we have the CPI numbers coming out tomorrow. I know we talked about that more yesterday, but we have these new CPI numbers that are coming out tomorrow. A lot of times, people like to get out of the market. I know you do, Matt. I sometimes will write it out and make sure I have enough room on there, but it's probably a good idea. But there's a lot of different traders who are technical traders, and they're just going to pull their money out ahead of something like the new CPI data coming out. And so that you could be playing that into some of this consolidation as well. People closing their positions, getting ready for the next movement, and see where it goes after tomorrow.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, Bruce. You're absolutely right that traders do tend to take money off the table ahead of big news like CPI. If CPI is about to come out, why take the risk? You don't know what the numbers are actually going to be. So I think it makes absolute sense what you're saying. And when the CPI numbers come out, if they come out anything lower than expected, and I suspect they probably will tomorrow, and that'll be a big boost to the market. So we could see a big turnaround, but probably they're just treading water ahead of those numbers. I can see you've got your latest guest sitting in the sidelines.
Yeah, he's so pretty interesting actually. The PR genius. We kind of hit it off. They do, so he'll tell us more about it. I think he's heading over here. He's a pretty popular guy though, as you can imagine, because what he's doing, and again he'll tell you a little bit more about it. But he's okay. You want to be in a level whatever for your media. You want to broadcast wherever. Then he chops that out, and then you don't pay him until he gets it. Now, of course, I think you're kind of locked in once he gets it, but he's pretty interesting. So I was going to kick it off with him. There's also some really cool projects as well. One guy I won't bring on the air, but we're going to be talking more with him. He's turning different interviews directly right into NFTs, and then he's paying out basically all the marketing revenue and stuff like that. That is something that people have been trying to pull off, including myself, for a long time. He's using the Sui network, which is Sue is like the big sponsor here. One of the big sponsors. They had the Sue camp over the last 2 days. I ended up doing some other stuff. I had access there. I should have gone. If I knew Randy was coming, I would have gone. But anyway, I know you have another meeting to hop on too.
I've got to run, but it's been a pleasure. I wish I could stay for this interview and listen to it, but I've got to run. So thanks for having me. David, Bruce, thank you so much. And for everybody who's listening, and look forward to catching up with you tomorrow.
Yep, sounds good. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate it.
Cheers, thank you.
So as I'm waiting for my colleague to come over here, I can see him. Can you hear me, David?
Yes.
Perfect. This thing's funny because I can always hear you. But for some reason, you can't always hear me. So pretty interesting as well what we have going on. It's in Brazil and on this great platform that we love to broadcast on X, Twitter. It's one of our favorite places to broadcast. And, Elon Musk is really just facing off, taking on Brazil and their Supreme Court. Very interesting, really, what's happening over there, because they are shutting down Twitter. They're shutting down X. And he's like, hey, Elon's like posting out there through his dummy accounts, like, go ahead and download the VPN, so you'll still be able to use Twitter, still be able to get out there. And he really wants the truth out there. He wants the truth to be out there. And it's like John McAfee told us a long time ago, right, David? So the truth is gonna set you free. The truth is gonna set you free. And so that's really important to keep in mind, because the truth is always, that's what sets us free. And we have to keep that in mind as we move forward. And so that, though, I mean, just like whether you agreed with it or not, when Elon set up Starlink in the Ukraine, this is another situation where he is smack dab in the middle of world news, world conflict, world, stuff that's going on in the world. I mean, you basically have it for everybody to see a dictator taking over Brazil. He's trying to. He's basically already taken it over, and now he's trying to squash and silence any and all dissidents that may happen. So that's that's something else. And hats off to Elon for throwing himself in there, because all that stuff comes at a risk. I'm sure that they offed a lot of people in Brazil in order to have their current situation. I mean, Bolsonaro was very popular. He was very popular over there in Brazil. So for him to, take all that on, I think is really something else.
Right.
Yes.
Yep.
So there's a lot of different things here. We have different banks. We have of course Trust Wallet. Here he is. I was starting to think he wasn't going to join. We have Mr. PR Genius here joining. I am going to switch my audio, David. I'm going to need you. I'm not going to hear you as I plug this in. So you're going to have to nod and tell me you can hear me.
Sure.
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Yep. Perfect. Listen, man, it's live TV, bro. I was already telling him about you.
Oh, perfect.
So I have with me here Kim Than. He's with the PR Genius. Now, if you're in the space as long as us, PR is one of the most important things that you can do. And so important, of course, that he's been very popular over there watching you do the deal. So tell us a little bit about PR Genius and what brought you here to the Paris Blockchain Week.
Yeah, so basically, the PR Genius, we're a PR and media agency based in the crypto space. We worked on 175 plus projects in the past 3 to 4 years. Some of the projects, you probably know them, like Metis, Biconomy, Sigify. We've done like a lot of them in general across like layer 1 protocols, layer 2s, and DeFi. And the difference between us and other PR agencies is that other PR agencies will charge like a massive retainer of 10 to 20K a month with no guarantees and no promises. We do things very much differently. We basically engage in such a way with the journalists that we work with the event speaking opportunities that we work with, that we know which companies could fit them perfectly. So instead of opting for like a very big retainer, we do everything based on performance. So we don't accept every sort of client that we bring on, but we only take them on case by case based on what's the trends at the moment in the market, what's the story. And if these components are strong enough, then we can get results from them. Then we take them on as a client, basically.
Pretty cool.
We're at Paris Blockchain Week because we're a media partner here.
Yep.
At other events around the world, like Tuco 249 as well. So they invited us down. Some of our clients are here as well. Just in general, like meeting everyone from the French ecosystem.
Well, it is pretty fun, right? And Paris is so beautiful. So you're Canadian.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, born in Montreal. Yeah.
Born in Montreal, one of my favorite cities in the world.
Yeah.
I always would tell people like if you ever you can't find me if I'm just disappearing. I might be in Montreal. So, but you're based. Where are you?
So we're based. We have 2 offices, one in London and one in Dubai.
Okay.
But I would say like 80% of our clients are either dispersed between North America to like Southeast Asia, Indonesia, Vietnam, and so on as well.
Very cool.
So very remote team, remote clients, So
So tell me, the setup is pretty nice, right? So basically, you pay. There's a small initial fee.
Yeah.
But it's smaller. It's a different setup, and then you pay as they get placed.
Is it hard to get these articles placed?
Yeah, it's super hard. Like, if you see everything in terms of like prospection, like every company has news announcements, right? And there's only a handful of journalists that work at these news outlets, especially the top outlets like CoinDesk, Cointelegraph, The Block, Decrypt, and so on, right? Probably like a team of like 20 of them, right? And you have like hundreds of thousands of projects, and all of them have news announcements every day about joint ventures, product announcements, and so on, right? So it's really hard to get, not only to get their attention, because their inbox is like full of literally pictures and emails and stuff like that, let alone their telegrams, you know,
And
their
LinkedIn.
Twitters.
LinkedIn is great, but I mean, gosh, I don't even know. It's all AI. I feel like talking.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the time, I mean, you respond and go back and forth.
Yeah,
But there's a lot of messages.
Exactly.
18,000 connections there, and they're messaging me all the time.
Yes, even you know.
It's hard to keep up.
Exactly. So imagine journalists. A journalist is even worse, you know.
Yeah.
So to get their attention is super hard. It's practically impossible to get their attention. And for example, even if you fundraise $10 million, you're going to see them. They're like, so what? This guy raised $20 million, you know?
Right.
So you really need to have that connection with them. And you need to have stories that spark their attention based on what they've written in the past and what they know and what they care about, you know?
Yep.
So if you have that information, then you can send them an email. Good luck getting that, by the way. But we've developed our relationships over time in the past 4 years by giving them such good stories that they didn't have access to unless they were speaking to us, you know?
Cool.
So by creating that relationship, you know, yielding that over time with like really good information and news, we're able to then expand it more and more and have more and more people refer us to other journalists, basically. So we build our network by that. And also, when we're at these events, you know, you see it, we're just opposite the media lounge.
You're popular.
Exactly.
A good spot too, right across from the media lounge.
So like we can go to the media lounge, we have our badges, we can speak to the journalists directly, have a coffee with them, see what they're working on at the moment. So we're able to like build it up, you know. So in general, it's not hard to get help with journalists, but good luck doing it because it's completely saturated from their side.
Yeah, it is completely saturated. So pretty cool. What's one of a project that maybe you're really proud of that you did really well and maybe you skyrocket their market cap or something like that?
We did Radix protocol. This was back in a year ago.
Okay.
Radix is a layer 1 protocol, and basically based on the layer 1 protocol, like they need to get developers on the platform as much as they can, because obviously a layer 1 protocol you know, becomes bigger in general, you know, with more developers building on the layer 1, and they wanted to get Web 2 people to Web 3, so that was like the hard part of it, right? Because Web 3 people in general, if we're Web 3 native, it's easier to get, you know, to contact. From Web 2 to Web 3, there's an extra layer of information you have to push through, right? So what we did was that we basically built a hackathon that we brainstormed, and we were like, we need to get someone who can represent the Web 2 space that will create a lot of traction to journalists in Web 2 space. So we partnered up with CA Agency, which is one of the biggest talent management agencies in the world. On the back of that, we got LMFAO, Redfoo from LMFAO. So people don't know about this, but Redfoo from LMFAO is a huge geek. He's actually a programmer, right? He quit music like a few years ago to do this full time.
Nice.
So we got him and Radix Protocol to host a hackathon together in Miami. Invited 20 Radix developers to the hackathon and pitched this to the press, and it went completely viral. Nice. And it was like the press title was basically, if Redfoo is now a developer of this hackathon, if he can do it, anyone else can do it.
Right.
And we got them Yahoo Finance, we got them Forbes, Cointelegraph, VentureBeat, Bloomberg. We got them appearance on like you know, a TV in the US, you know. And suddenly they got so many people signing up, you know, to Radix Protocol, you know.
Hey, can you hear me? We lost your audio.
And we're back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Yeah, it was just the very split at the end there, the Radix protocol. They did really well. It was just the last bit there.
Made them go viral, went really well. They were super happy with it, you know, so yeah. Went really well.
Well, there you go, man. Well, totally awesome. Thanks for coming on. How do people find you guys? What's your website? What's your social media?
Yeah, 100%. So we're basically www.theprgenius.com. So ThePrGenius.com. You can find me on Twitter at Kim PRGenius. That's also my Telegram handle as well if you guys want to send me anything. And yeah, we're very happy to look at your projects. We'll tell you definitely if we're able to get you guys media coverage. You know, we don't lie if you do the work or not. And as I said before, you guys only pay if you do get the media opportunity confirmed. Super simple from there on. And yeah, if you guys need anything else, let me know. But yeah, happy to connect with anyone.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for
Yeah,
joining us.
thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
100%.
We will be talking more.
Yeah, 100%. I've got your WhatsApp and everything.
Yep.
Are you going to be here for the next few days, by the way?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's link up and have a conversation around that.
Sounds good.
Perfect. Thank you
Cheers.
so much, guys. See you soon. Bye.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm going to switch up my. I'm going to switch back my mic here. My plan, David, is to we'll at the right moment we'll hop off the Smart Money Culture Network, but then we will continue the stream. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So yeah, we'll continue the stream if my first interview shows up on time, which might be one of these guys right here. This look. I'm a one-man show right now, so you know, live TV. We got a one-man show. Here you go, Diego. I'm in the corner. I am going in. Hey, man, Diego. Awesome. Nice. I'm very good. Come on over. All right, I'm going back. You're gonna cut. We're gonna cut here on. You can cut at the right time from the Smart Money. Have a seat right here. Okay. Right here. Diego Juarezki. Okay. All right, David, can you hear us?
Yes.
Yeah, we're good?
Yes.
All right. Let's lead in at 7:01. We'll start.
Sure.
My audio is good. I'm going to take you down. How do I say your last name again?
Yeah.
How do I say your last name again?
Juarezki.
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 It's
Yeah.
Arthur.
Hathor Network. Yeah.
And we are live here at Paris Blockchain Week. What a wonderful event. We just finished, of course, our live stream. I have with me here Diego. He's with the Hathor Network. Tell me a little bit, Diego, about the Hathor Network and what brought you here to Paris Blockchain Week.
Well, thank you, Bruce, for the opportunity to tell your audience a little bit more about our protocol. Basically, Hathor is a blockchain layer 1. So we have our own native technology, which is very unique because it mixes the technology of blockchain with DAG. So that allows us to be highly scalable, feeless, and use also we are a low-code platform, so very easy to use. So we are here basically because we want to expand our technology besides the LATAM boundaries, because our founders are from Brazil.
Okay, very interesting. Well, we were actually talking about Brazil a little bit earlier.
Oh.
You guys are...
I come here in the right moment, right?
You did, right?
Yeah, nice.
It's pretty crazy, everything that's going on. Of course, X or Twitter is one of our favorite places to stream. And everything going on there. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
So when you said you mix the blockchain network with the... What was that?
DAG. It's DAG, Direct Acyclic Graph.
Okay.
I'm not the most technical guy, but it's a ledger technology that is used by IOTA. IOTA is one of the most traditional protocols that use it. Marcelo, our founder, managed to mix those two, and that's how we get these fantastic attributes, to being feeless, highly scalable, and on the other side, extremely secure and reliable as well.
Amazing. So now I know our good friends there, AIBC Sigma. They're always doing the event in Brazil. Are you planning on doing that one as well?
Yeah, actually, we have a very regular participations in the events. There's Blockchain Rio, the most famous one there,
Yeah.
and you're always present. And we are also present in Febraban Tech, which are more technical events related to fintechs, banks, and stuff like that.
Okay.
Hathor has a very unique use case, which is in partnership with the Brazilian Security Exchange Commission
Okay.
and a fintech there. We are being authorized to tokenize securities. We have more than $50 million currently securing our network. So we cannot complain, but
Right.
we are willing to expand our technology to other part of the world.
Amazing.
Work.
So it's such a vibrant community there, and then of course Paris was so pretty. It's like so pretty. And this event I think has been very, very good. They did a very good job putting it together. The organization of everything has been spot on. So, what did you use to build Hathor on? Did you base it on Bitcoin or Ethereum or Polygon or something like this?
Actually, we are a layer one,
I
so we
understand,
have
yeah.
our own technology, but our founders are big fans of Bitcoin.
Okay.
So they pick a lot of things from the technology. So it's UTXO based,
Yeah.
and we also have merged mining with Bitcoin.
Oh,
so we
cool.
have the whole network of Bitcoin to mine our token as well. So that's how we come to a very high hash rate
Yeah.
in such a short period of time,
Oh, well, that's interesting. So I'm an early Bitcoiner. I'm a big proponent of mining and everything else. So tell me a little bit about that. I mean, so what is your coin distribution? How much of it is mined? Did you use some coins to raise money, or how does that work?
Yeah, actually, what we use from the Bitcoin ecosystem is just the mining stuff.
Okay.
So the miners who mine our token as well as Bitcoin, they receive HTRs, which are our native tokens,
Okay.
as a reward. And also, we are a protocol that actually is merged mine. Whomever is mining Bitcoin can mine Hathor network
Yeah.
without consuming any extra energy or requesting any incremental investment in equipment. So it's
So
like
why
a
wouldn't
win-win.
you? Right, why wouldn't you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's part of we're also here, to spread the voice about it. Our main miner is F2 Pool, which is one of the top mining clubs globally.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of room to increase our footprint there. So for sure now more miners will know about the opportunity
Texas
of mining us.
Yeah, Texas is big. We our TV show, our main distribution is in Texas.
Yeah.
So Texas
Well,
big mining.
Well, Marcelo, the founders, actually live in Dallas.
Okay. Amazing.
So yeah, it's a good point of connection for him and for the miners as well.
So tell me a little bit about how, when did you start? How long did it take to get to the point? And maybe when did your first block drop?
Well, actually, the main net, we launched it in 2020, in January.
It launched in 2020.
2020, so we are in mainnet for 4 years already.
Awesome.
If I'm not
Congratulations.
mistaken, it was launched on the same day of the halving of Bitcoin, the previous one.
Nice. Okay.
That's a proof of how fun the founders are of the technology of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So we are a pretty robust and solid network. Have strong use cases, very much focus on corporates and enterprises.
Yeah.
But now we're about also to launch nano contracts, which is our own version of smart contracts that are customizable, so much easier to use. And that eventually would catalyze us more into the DeFi world, which also will help us to get more massive adoption of our network.
Nano contracts. That's a great name.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
Yeah.
it's a great name and a great product. You will see. You will
Very
see.
cool.
Eventually, we can catch up again, and when we officially launch it,
Yeah.
you can be the first one to know about it.
Cool. So then, all right. So you have smart contracts. Do you have a layer now for other tokens to be built on?
Yeah,
Hathor as
actually,
well?
it's very easy to create a token in our network. Tokens, NFTs, atomic swap, everything is native in the network.
Okay.
So everyone in just 1 minute, actually 1 minute, you can create your own custom token and distribute it there. So it's very, very easy to use. A platform that for tokenization, it's no better choice than us.
Really cool. And then now, as far as your first block drop, then did you guys reserve anything to raise money, or has everything been mined?
No. Actually, I think it's 30% of the token.
Uh-huh.
It's like on hold.
Okay.
It's not mined yet.
Okay.
And it's about the founders. I think they have a not actually accurate on the date.
Yeah.
But there's a date to make the decision. I think it's in 2035 or something about
Okay.
what to do with these lock tokens there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, right? Have you been, so 4 years, right? Here we are, 4.5 years, I guess, right?
Uh-huh. I've not been since the beginning of the project, unfortunately.
Okay.
I missed that one,
Yeah.
but I've been in Hathor for 2 years almost. I've been working for traditional global company, nothing to do with tech,
Okay.
but it's an amazing technology and I fall in love with it. And since 2 years ago, I'm working with it and I'm extremely happy.
Yeah, well, it's
It's
a lot
very
of fun.
dynamic, right?
Crypto is so fun. I mean, I go around the world and I get to interview smart people like yourself and, go to these different places. It's a lot of fun. Where do you go next? You have
We've been in Web Summit Qatar. We are going next week to Web Summit Rio.
Uh-huh.
Then we're going to Tokyo Sushi Tech event.
Uh-huh.
Nothing related with sushi, just
Right.
the name,
Just
right?
the name,
So
yeah.
it's a big event for startups and technology there in Tokyo. We have been invited there. And then to Canada, Collision Canada, which is a branch of the Web Summit.
Yep.
And then who knows, we're kind of working on it.
Yeah.
Maybe token 2049 in Singapore.
Everyone's talking about this one.
Yeah.
It's always like that. Token, it's huge.
Yeah. That
So
one is a
far.
classical one. It's a classic.
Classic.
Yeah.
So far.
Yeah, for you, you're going to get used to the jet lag and stuff like that.
I get used to it a lot. So, all right, well, really cool. What is what would you, if you were talking to somebody that's building a token or building their dApps right now, what would you tell them about building on Hathor?
Yeah, I think it's an awesome opportunity because usually for this type of businesses, which is tokenization of real-world assets that are basically getting a lot of tractions all over the world, doing it on Hathor is extremely easy, simple, and it's very cheap. So you also need a scalable platform and guaranteeing feeless transactions for a project that has to be gaining traction and potentially getting bigger. It's essential to guarantee the sustainability of the project in the long term.
Yeah.
And also it's a low-code platform, so you don't need to be a genius in Python, Solidity, or whatever language you're using it. Anyone can easily integrate our blockchain to a dApp or even a centralized application. Is extremely easy and secure. So I would recommend it to get in touch with us in our website. There's a form there that can easily get in contact with us. And we're also providing them a test net. So every developer can create a POC or an MVP very easily and for free. So
cool.
eventually all the things that I'm saying, they can check it there.
Amazing. Now, as far as for the new developers, is there a grant program or something like that you guys have as well?
Yeah, actually with the launch of the nano contracts, we want to expand our footprints and we have a list of projects that we are specifically interested in developing in our network. So with the launch of it, we're going to relaunch our grant programs and making it more robust and more active. So have to stay tuned for the launch of nanos and you will get all the info there.
Awesome. And so where do people stay tuned? What's the website and social media?
Yeah, that's it. It's Hathor Network. So type it there, you will find it.
Hathor.network is that. And then do you know the Twitter handle?
Yeah, the Twitter is Hathor.network as well.
Hathor Network as well.
Or you can find me directly. It's Diego Juarez. It's just the short of my name, the short of my last name. You can find me on Twitter, Telegram, whatever.
LinkedIn,
it'll be a pleasure.
well. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for coming on.
Nice to meet you, and thanks for giving us the chance to let your audience know a little bit more about us.
You got it. I appreciate you coming on.
The pleasure is mine.
Cheers.
Bruce, thank you very much for the opportunity.
Pleasure.
Hope to see you again in the next events.
Do you have WhatsApp?
Yeah.
Give me,
Where can I pick this note?
I'll send it to you. Just say hi on
Here.
We're already talking.
Because I wasn't finding it.
Gotcha.
Got it?
Yeah, here, we'll do a selfie real quick. All right, awesome.
You send it?
We'll talk soon, I will.
Thank you, man.
Yeah,
Take
thank
care.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, so there you have it, folks. A lot of exciting stuff that's coming out here. Paris Blockchain Week. We're going to continue our coverage. Just looking here, I think I might have a bit of a break. Let me look at my calendar here. I do. I have a bit of a break, about a 45-minute break, I think. So I will go ahead and cut the broadcast at the moment, and then we will be live very soon. Signing off.